So for the last 6 months, I've been asking the same question to every music producer, every agency creative, and every busy freelance composer in my circle. The question, has AI taken any of your work yet? Not one of them has said yes. Not one. I've been on the inside of this industry for the past 20 years, producing over 1,000 pieces of music for big brands like Nike, Google, Adidas, BMW. So this is not my first rodeo. Been here for a while. Now, I'm not guessing here, I'm simply reporting. In this video, I want to show you why one corner of the music industry that you probably never heard of is structurally protected from AI. And why, if you're truly called to make music, none of this is your problem in the first place. But first, I have to be honest about the part that isn't protected, because that part is real. And it's not only coming, it's already here. Let's keep it real, folks. AI is going to make a mess in this industry. I'm not in denial about that. There's a global study from CSAC, projecting a 24% decline in the average musician's income by 2028. They're projecting that 60% of music library revenue will be replaced by AI. Now that's real, folks, and I think it's mostly accurate. But I want you to notice where the damage hits. The middle, the wallpaper, the pretty good, the 30-second underscore that was already a commodity, sitting in a Pond 5 or Artlist music library, waiting to get picked off a rack like a t-shirt at H&M. Commodity. Now, if a robot can run circles around you, producing the good enough track, persisting at producing good enough tracks for music libraries is not a career anymore. That's just the truth. So if your plan was to flood Spotify with mood playlists and chase sync placements with stock libraries, yeah, AI is coming for that. And guess what? It's gonna win. Faster, cheaper, all that stuff. But here's the thing that nobody seems to be saying out loud. That was never the actual money in this business in the first place. That was the consolation prize that most musicians settled for because they didn't know there was a hidden path. And on that hidden path, something very different is happening. Now, here is the structural reason why AI can't touch the bespoke composition industry. And it has nothing to do with talent. Reason number one, copyright. Brands simply cannot use AI music. Not at scale. Not for anything that goes to air. Why? Because there is no clean chain of custody. There's no audit trail for the copyright. There's no human you can point to and say, this person wrote this. Here's the contract, here's the license, here's the indemnity. A brand putting tens of millions of dollars behind a campaign and billions of dollars behind their marketing budget and their brand, they're not gonna bet their budget and their reputation on a generative tool whose training data is being fought over in courts right now. Their legal department probably wants to sleep at night. That requirement is not going away. And that, my friends, quietly locks the door on AI usage for any brand commercial use that actually matters. Reason number two, precision. A song or score written specifically for a commercial isn't just a piece of music. It has to line up precisely with the edit down to a split second. The hits have to land on the cuts. The swell breathes with the actor's pause. The drop matches the logo reveal. That is the job. Try doing that with AI. Now, this might happen someday, but when you prompt AI, what you essentially get is a great sounding track. A track that belongs in the library. It might sound good. It might sound great. You might even love it on its own. But the second you drop it in your DAW and line it up with the edit, something is always off. Just slightly. Just enough. So what do? You go back. You write another prompt. And another. And another. You're sitting in front of the screen, stuck in a loop, hoping that the machine will eventually intuit what you need. And of course, there's no chance of that because we're talking about lines of code. And what you actually need on the other side is for somebody with style, sensibility, intuition, experience to grab the controls. A real composer walks in, they take a listen, they take time to understand the context, and then they twist and turn the music with the needs of the edit, with the needs of the brief. They make the music tell the story that the client, the brand, the business truly intended. Now, folks, this is not an easy thing to do, and that is not a software problem that AI is going to solve anytime soon. That's a job description problem. That's a people problem. As in, we need a composer in the room. AI may be great at outputs, but it's not a composer in the room. Reason number 3, and this one is bigger than all the rest. Brands need a face, a real face. Look at Apple. It needed Steve Jobs. Look at Tesla, SpaceX. It needs Elon Musk. Look at Ford. It all started with Henry Ford. The culturally relevant brands of every era have been led by a human or humans that actually stood for something. Humans that you knew and recognized and resonated with. Humans with aspirations, with values, with a real point of view. A position that you could align with or push against. Great brands require humans because that's who we connect with or disconnect with. Great brands polarize. They don't stand in the middle with the good enough. They put a human face in front. And either you align with it and you love it, or you hate it and you push back. People do not align with algorithms or lines of code. No matter how much you might enjoy the output is by itself not enough to build a culturally resonant brand. And here's why. When every brand on earth has billions to spend on the most advanced AI models, all they have access to is the same AI models as everybody else, as every one of their competitors. They have access to bigger and badder models than you or I will ever have access to. But what is the unfair advantage when every big brand has millions, billions to spend on AI? That's a rhetorical question, but it remains a real question. What is the unfair advantage for a brand that wants to resonate with human beings? The answer? It is humans. The point of view, the perspective, the taste, the sensibility. That becomes the only thing left to differentiate one brand and business from another. The more AI proliferates, the more amplified the human factor becomes. Not less, more. So let me tell you what I'm actually seeing on the ground. I'm talking to my peers, the music house owners, the music producers, the music supervisors, the freelance composers that I've worked with for 2 decades. I asked them about the volume. I actually joke. I'm like, since AI has come in, how long have you been homeless for?
Mark, now that AI has entered the picture, how long have you been homeless?
Yeah.
Has the business gone down? Nope. Are the agencies sending fewer briefs? Nope. Are budgets shrinking? Not really. The only thing that's changed, and pay attention to this, because this is the misread that is freaking everybody out, is that sometimes the agency or the brand, the client, now sends an AI-generated track along with the brief. Not as the final, but as a reference for us to compose to, as a demo of the vibe that they want. The AI track is not in the commercial. It is not going to be in the commercial. The music production company that the agency is calling is going to commission a human being sitting in their home studio just like you. That's who's going to be commissioned to deliver the song, score, or sound made from scratch. And that's what's actually going to go on the air. In our business, AI might be influencing the briefing process, but it's not replacing the artisan. Okay, but here's the part that I want every musician watching this to sit with. Because the AI panic in our world isn't really about AI. It's about a question that most musicians have never been forced to answer. If AI took over 100% of the music tomorrow, and I mean all of it, every song, every score, every cue, every sound, would you stop making music? If the answer is yes, then we have to be honest with each other. Music was probably not your calling. You were probably chasing the market, trying to squeeze pennies from music, only seeing it as a career. And when the market disappeared, the calling disappeared with it. And let's face it, it probably never was a true calling. Now, if robots, AI, algorithms take over every single process of making music and it's good enough for everybody, we don't need humans anymore, if you would still go into your home studio, go into your basement, take your guitar out in the street on a sidewalk for nobody, potentially nobody, just because you can't help yourself, you just have to make music, then guess what? The AI question is a non-event for you. It doesn't much matter what AI does, what technology does. AI cannot stop you from doing something that you would do anyway. And here's the bonus. If you happen to be in that camp, the camp of musicians that have a true calling, the musicians who'd make music regardless of what happens out there in the world, that is exactly the kind of musician that stands a chance of becoming a remarkable craftsperson who will be commissioned to create song scores or sounds from scratch for the patron of arts today, the patron that has the money and the ability to hire remarkable craftspeople to help them stand out on their feeds. Who is that patron? That patron is the brand. The brand doesn't want to pay for MP3 files. The brand wants to pay for a point of view. And only the kind of remarkable craftspeople whose point of view is going to be worth paying for. So now let me put a bow on it. 1, AI is structurally locked out of the bespoke commercial music business because brands cannot risk a foggy copyright chain. That is not going to change. Number 2, even in a hypothetical world where AI somehow won 100% of the business, the people who are called to make music are going to keep making the music. Which means that those who have a calling are the only ones left in the room when the work comes back. And it always comes back. Because humanity always returns to the real after being distracted for a while with the shiny stuff. We always return to the real. And number 3, the freelance musicians in our business who are making a full-time living from this, they're not losing work. The music houses that hire them, they're not losing the business. Big brands don't pick music from a music library for their big commercial, their big campaign, or their piece of content. They want to bake a home-baked cake. They want to bake something from scratch for their audience with a recipe that their competitors cannot easily copy. And the brands who want to be culturally relevant, they know that. And that's why those brands will look for remarkable craftspeople who have a skill and a sensibility and who will make creative choices that maybe even the brand didn't ask for, but choices that they will benefit from and will happily pay for. That is the job. That is still the job. Now, if any of this is making you go, wait, I want to know more about that business, that's exactly what I teach inside of The Hidden Path. It's a free live workshop that I run every other Thursday. I show you how money actually moves through the brands, through the agencies, how freelance composers like you sitting in your home studio are commissioned to create custom song scores and sounds for these brand campaigns and content, and how to build a career out of being commissioned. Commissioned, not discovered, because what I teach is about turning yourself into a remarkable craftsperson who will be the source of solutions, and not to put your music in a music library and just hope for the best. The first is leverage, the second is lottery. The link is in the description below. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is this. Every AI in the world is trained on humans. Every model, every output. Take the humans away, really take them away. And within 10 years, there's nothing new for the AI to learn from. The whole machine collapses without the source. So, if you are the source, or at least if you aspire to be the source, if you are the human making something real, you are not at risk. In fact, you're the asset that the entire machine is built on. And the good news is, as long as you stay human and continue to aspire to be remarkable and not to be in the middle, not only will AI be learning from you, but you will always be one step ahead of AI. You will be the trendsetter. You will be the chef that brands will commission for top dollar because they will want your taste. Not what worked yesterday, but the very thing that people don't even realize yet is going to work tomorrow. That's what I would like to strive for, and that's what I wish for you. I'm not trying to compete with AI. I'm trying to be what it can't be without me. Whew! Well, that rhymed. Always nice to end the video with a rhyme. See you in the next one.